Hey gamers, welcome to my game room. AJ from Rolling With Roc here. It's Monday, ROCtober 12th, and we are continuing the countdown to #1 of my top 67 board games of all time with numbers 45 through 41. It is the month of ROCtober, and Monday through Saturday I am creating a new board game video for here on YouTube in celebration of my 1-year content creation anniversary. I'm also streaming on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. over at twitch.tv/rollingwithroc. And you can join me both here on YouTube and on Twitch by leaving follows, subscriptions, making sure those notification bells are clicked so that when I release new content, you are notified. Giving likes, sharing my content is the most helpful thing you can do so we can try to get more eyes on this content. Anything you do to help spread the word about Rolling With Roc is amazing, and I really, really appreciate it. I am slowly growing a community, and it is turning out great so far, and I would love for others to join us. If you feel like this content is fun for you, I would hope that it will be fun for others. Please go ahead and let me know in the comments what you think I'm doing right so far, what you think I'm doing wrong. Interact with me in the chats on Twitch. Help me improve over there as well. Any help that you want to give, I appreciate. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Just a quick reminder before we get into the list that these are my opinions on the top 67 board games of all time. These are games that I own and have played for the most part. I'm not rating any games that I haven't played because I haven't had that individual experience with, and because I haven't played a lot of games out there, especially a lot of highly rated games or a lot of new games. I can't put those on this list. If you think there's games that I should check out that you haven't seen yet or aren't expecting to show up on my list later, please go ahead and put them in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think about these 5 upcoming games in the comments. Each comment on a video earns you 1 entry into Board Game Trick or Treat at the end of the month. All you have to do is be a subscriber to this YouTube channel, which is free, as well as leave a comment on a video that is labeled ROCtober. So you can earn every Monday through Saturday here in the month of October, you can earn an entry into Board Game Trick or Treat. With all that out of the way, it's time to get back into the top 67 board games of all time with number 45. Number 45 is a not-so-friendly King of the Hill where you are monsters trying to control Tokyo City. Of course, it's King of Tokyo by Yellow Games. This is a game that I don't get to bring to the table too often because there are people in my game group who do not enjoy the type of interaction that's in this game, where you just attack each other relentlessly, and that's the point of the game, is to eliminate the other player. That will rub some players the wrong way, and I totally get that. And there's actually a lot of games where I'm not a fan of that mechanism. But the thing that I like about King of Tokyo that makes that mechanism okay for me is the time length of this game. You can pull this game out, play in 20-30 minutes, and then it's done if you want it to be. Now you can play multiple rounds, and that's good too. And that can make it, last a little bit longer, say, 60 if you wanted to. But you can play this if you get eliminated, or if you win, either way, game's done, and you can move on. But for those who do like this type of mechanism, trying to attack each other, trying to regain health, using player powers that you've bought and drafted, it has, rolling dice to try to get the right outcome. Sometimes you're trying to get all attacks, sometimes you're trying to get a set, sometimes you're trying to get one of each die face depending on your cards. Really the dice rolling aspect, the difference in this versus some other take that attacking kind of games really is a reason why King of Tokyo is a modern classic. I love this edition of King of Tokyo as it has the Space Penguin in it. I don't think each edition does. I know some of them are a little different, but Space Penguin for me, I'm a huge Penguins fan. Not just the hockey team as on my shirt, but penguins, the animal, are my favorite animal. Actually, prior to even though, before I found the hockey team. But so if I can play as Space Penguin, I'm a happy camper. And I just like this game. You roll dice, you draft cards to use as powers later on. The different expansions have more different characters, different player powers, adding just a little bit more to the game. I like the Halloween as costumes, and since we're in the month of ROCtober, Halloween is at the end of the month. Costumes and things like that are a lot of fun to play with in King of Tokyo. But yeah, it is just it's a dice chucking game where you're trying to control Tokyo with your monster before anybody else does, and you can win by victory points or eliminating all other players. And so at number 45, that was King of Tokyo from Yellow Games. Number 44. Number 44 is another dice rolling, take that attacking game, this time with secret rules, and that is Bang the Dice Game from DV Bang the Dice Game is, in some ways, has some aspects that King of Tokyo has, where you are rolling dice, trying to get the right symbols on those dice to attack your opponents. However, you also have secret roles in this game, and that adds a little bit of extra flavor to it that some other dice chucking attacking games may not have. Now, I've never played this game at any other variant than the 3-player variant. And in that game, you almost have a standoff with the 3 players where player A wants to kill player B wants to kill player C, and player C wants to kill player A. And that's how you win. Now, if player A kills player C, which wasn't their target, that helps them potentially still win, but that doesn't win them the game. They still have to try to kill player B. And then at that point, if player B kills A, they would still win because they'd be the last person standing. So that's the only way I've actually played Bang the Dice Game. I'd love to play it with more players, where you have more of the roles and more of the, secret role elimination style game going on. But just at 3 players with the little Mexican standoff kind of ideal with the, pointing your guns at everybody, I really like it. And again, this is another one of those really fast games to play. It says 15 minutes on the box, so probably 20. But just like King of Tokyo, even though it's an attacking game, even though you are eliminating players, it's so fast that if you do get eliminated, you don't feel like you've wasted your time. And if you're in the game still, it's going to be over soon enough that, anybody who's eliminated feels fine. Everybody who's still in it is happy. Nobody's upset with the game, which I feel like with player elimination games that can go longer than, say, King of Tokyo, or in this case, Bang the Dice Game, you can have some problems with your game group. So that's why I like it. It is fun. It does have 2 expansions. I own them both. I haven't gotten them to the table. So I'm hoping that I can play both of those expansions at some point here soon. But at number 44, that is Bang the Dice Game from DV. Number 43. At number 43, we are leaving the world of dice rolling and joining the polyomino placement style of games, where you are building your own bear park to make it the grandest out of all of your competitors in Phil Walker Harding's Baron Park from Lookout Spiel and Mayfield Games. And Baron Park it's a cool little game. You start out with 1 square tile and you place these animal houses onto different icons. And when you place them on these icons, that allows you to unlock more animal houses or enclosures, different park things like benches or street vendors. And eventually you can get enclosures, which are bigger polyomino tiles, to fill up more spaces. And it's the player who can fill up the most of their squares. There's also an icon that lets you get more of the squares. The player who can fill up all of their squares first will end the game. Not necessarily win, but they will end the game. And then all the other players will have 1 more turn. It is relatively quick as well, I believe. The box says 30 to 45 minutes, so this is a pretty, short game as well in the overarching game of all games. Longer than the previous two on this list, but it's also a different style of game. I do like the little puzzly aspect of trying to use the polyominoes to cover symbols. There's a lot of other games in the board game world that use a similar aspect to it, but I think this one does it very well. I can't remember if there's any other games on my list that do that same sort of mechanic where you take polyominoes to cover up symbols and then those symbols unlock different things or score you points. But Baron Park does very well at doing that. It has a nice little theme with the bear parks. It has different styles of bears in the game, and the tokens are cool. I like the just the shapes and stuff that you get from the tiles. The insert is, at least in the version I have, I'm not sure if maybe they improve this later on, the insert's very odd because it's just like a cardboard tile used in like a T formation. It's a little odd, but admittedly it keeps it mostly in one spot in the box. But yeah, that is Baron Park from Lookout's Field and Mayfair Games and Phil Walker Harding in at number 43. Number 42. Number 42 is a Flippin' Right game, also done by Phil Walker Harding and Pandasaurus Games, Silver and Gold. I recently reviewed Silver and Gold here on the channel. You can check that out after this video if you feel so inclined. Silver and Gold, you will be using dry erase pens to mark off islands. And as you mark off the islands, you will be earning victory points. So here is an island card. Let's see if I can get that to be, yeah, there you go. So you will be earning victory points there, like the number 12. You have different abilities that you can do. You can get cross off X's, which lets you cross off another space. Coins, which will help you get trophies, which are points, as well as palm trees, which will help you get points at the end of the game. And you decide on how you put those X's down based off of these cards right here, which will show you in the pattern that you have to mark off on your board. If you cannot complete the shape, you only can put one X down. So if you have a square, a 2 across and 2 up and down, and you can't put that anywhere on any of your islands, then you only can mark off one spot total. But it is another quick game. This seems to be a theme mostly on this list. It's 20 minutes long. Like I said, it's another game from Phil Walker Harding. Different games in a lot of ways, but both very, very good right next to each other here on the list at 43 and 42. But that is Silver and Gold from Phil Walker Harding and Pandasaurus Games. And like I said, if you would like to know more information about that, please check out my ROC review that I did on this game. Number 41. Number 41 is the oldest game on this list. It takes me back to when I was a child. It is the first game that I ever played competitively, and that is Pokemon, the trading card game. Now this is a pack of the Sword and Shield set. I also have a preset deck from the Sun and Moon era with Empoleon in it, which the Penguin Pokemon Piplup is my favorite Pokemon. You should be able to see Piplup right up there if you can. I'm not sure, my head might be in the way. But I have a good bit of Pokemon content. I just pulled out a couple of things. I've got a big box of it. I even got really, really old first era cards. None of them are super, super rare from what I know. But I do have the old cards. You hear people talk about like the Shining Charizard and stuff like that. I never had the Charizard. I actually had Venusaur. But I played this game when I was young. And my dad would take me to, we had competitions in our mall. My dad would take me there. And we could play, you know, that was my first interaction of competitive gaming, was Pokemon TCG. And then I held on to my cards, but I got out of Pokemon around the second generation. I really liked the first, I got out of it. And then, you know, when I hit my 30s, or a little, even before that, but, you know, more recently, you know, the nostalgia aspect of everything kind of hits back in. Pokemon Go came out in 2016. That really pulled me back into Pokemon in general. And I got back into the video games, and I got back into the card game a little bit. I didn't buy too much because I had a bunch of stuff already. But I did buy some. We bought some Black and White era stuff. We bought some Sun and Moon era stuff. And this is, I think, the only thing I really have from Sword and Shield for the card game. But I have a lot of Pokemon content. And I know if you're playing competitively, they rotate things out. But if I ever just want to play at home or just play against, you know, whatever, hope, you know, in a couple years my sons will be able to grow up and play this game, I can use what I have. It's not a huge deal. I'm always, you know, interested in seeing what they're coming out for Pokemon. But with a lot of collectible games, like Pokemon, like Magic, like another game that would be on this list down the line, there's so much content that it is hard to kind of keep up with. And I'm a big proponent of get enough to play. And, you know, if you're doing competitive stuff, then yeah, you have to keep up. But if you're just looking, you enjoy the game. Like I enjoy Pokemon. Even to this day, I still think it is a very good, you know, card game. 1v1, I have a deck, you have a deck, that's battle. I still think it holds up to this day, you know, 20 plus years later. But this is a game that you can play with your kids, you know, you can interact with them. I'm pretty sure only in a few short years, my son Remy will be able to play this with me, and just even thinking about that makes me very happy, because he knows Pokemon right now. He knows some of these Pokemon. He knows the series. Getting him into something like this will be a blast for me, and hopefully a blast for him. But I have a lot of fond memories of playing Pokemon. Not just the trading card game, but the video games, playing Pokemon Go. It is a franchise that defines me in a lot of ways. Probably one of, if not my favorite franchises in all of, you know, entertainment and gaming. And so to have a game that I also like, you know, a physical tabletop game to play that I enjoy from that is special to me, and this game will always be somewhere on this list just because it is special in my heart. If you like card games where you do play 1v1 and you like Pokemon in any sort of way and somehow you haven't played the Pokemon trading card game, I suggest you try it. If you're looking for just to get a taste of it, they do have an online option. The online arena is, I mean, Pokemon is kind of kiddie, but that they really play up the kid-friendly aspects of it on the online. I've tried to do the online. It's not as fun for me as, you know, physically playing with the cards. So I would prefer to play in person versus the online mode, but I know plenty of people who do play online, especially in times like this where we can only really play online. But you could have a person at home, you know, via Zoom or Twitch or something, having a deck of Pokemon cards, and then somebody else doing this exact same thing. And you could easily do that because you don't need both decks right in front of each other. But in at number 41 today from the Pokemon Company is Pokemon, the trading card game. Alright, I'm going to hit you with that quick recap. In at number 45, we had King of Tokyo. Number 44 was Bang the Dice Game. Number 43 was Baron Park. Number 42, Silver and Gold. And number 41, Pokemon, the Trading Card Game. Thank you all so much for checking out this installment of the top 67 board games of all time. Go ahead and let me know in the comments below what you think of these games. Remember, it does count as an entry into Board Game Trick or Treat. If there's anybody out there who'd like to contribute to Board Game Trick or Treat, please send me an email at rollingwithroc@gmail.com. Hit those like buttons, those subscribe buttons. Please share these videos with your friends. Go back and view the other episodes from this list if you've missed them so far. And join me on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. over at twitch.tv/rollingwithroc. Tomorrow on the channel for Tuesday's Rock Review segment, we will be looking at AEG's Space Base. So I hope you join us again tomorrow for that. Until then, this was AJ from Rolling With Roc, and you are watching ROCtober.